And here's the crazy stat. They were eating nearly 800 additional calories above baseline levels, nearly 800 calories, and did not gain body fat. As long as the excess calories are coming all from protein, and as long as you're resistance training, one of two things happens. You either do not gain body fat or you lose body fat. So there's this argument or this, this seed like high protein's good for just physique purposes, which we know that. I'm just now validating it in research studies.
Obviously, you could tell Dr. Campbell over the last maybe 3-4 years, I've tried to put a lot of information out with regards to female health, female metabolism, building muscle, losing body fat, and all of that. And I wanted to know specifically from you, what would be your best advice specifically for women? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your research studies and a lot of the work that you're doing in your human performance lab has a lot to do with the female side of the fitness industry. So what would be your best tips for women that are tuning into this podcast to help them optimize their health and improve their body composition?
Yeah, so it's I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the number one thing is to make sure they're ingesting enough protein. And again, I would say higher than what normal females typically take. So if you're an active female, high protein makes sense. And in our world, everybody's resistance training. So here's where we're going to sneak health in the back door here for a second. So my subjects, my female subjects, they're doing my studies because they want to, in their mind, optimize their physiques, put on more muscle, lose some body fat. So they're happy to lift weights, have higher protein. But what they don't know is that females by the age of like 22, early 20s, the bone mineral density or the bone mineral content that they have, it is set for life. So if you can lay down as much of this bone mineral density as possible while young, you now have a much less likely outcome of osteoporosis or just all of the bone diseases that happen to females as they age. So the best way to increase bone mineral density is to resistance train, put stress on that. So just having them active and then feeding that anabolism with protein, get stronger. Now there's a stronger pull on the muscle through the tendon. That's also going to impact bone mineral density. So there's one of the best things for young females to lift weights, to this lifestyle. And again, we also have, unfortunately, some eating disorders. But even there's where I think our approach, even if there's disordered eating, if there's a high protein aspect to their diets, again, even if there's body dysmorphia issues, we're at least preventing some of the real harm that non-active, non-protein ingesting females are putting on themselves that also struggle with the same issues. So in summary, a health promoting behavior is resistance training and just trying to get stronger, trying to build more muscle. That, unbeknownst to a lot of young females, is actually setting them up for a lifetime of bone health.
Absolutely. I love that answer. So something that we were talking about kind of off air before we started was allowing us to kind of uncover a big deal that you've been working on for quite a long time now. I suppose this would be a great time to go ahead and let our audience know about the research review that you've been working on probably over the last few years, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm excited. This is my first product that I've ever done by myself. It's a research review. It's called Body by Science. And essentially what I'm doing is it's a research review. So I'm going to every month summarize 2 different research studies that are solely focused on building muscle and losing body fat. So it's laser focused. I mean, I would say it's the ideal research review for coaches because it's the stuff that coaches are interested in. So I'm reviewing 2 studies a month. And then I'm also bringing in, so I'm reviewing the studies or summarizing, and I'm saying, hey, here's what the researchers did. Here was the outcome. I give my thoughts. And then I'm also bringing in a bunch of experts, whether they be coaches like yourself or medical doctors, registered dietitians, other scientists. And I'm asking them, okay, particularly if they're coaches, You just seen my interpretation of the study. How would you apply this to the lives of your clients? Because you can summarize a study, and if there's no advice or if there's no application, who cares? Our research is dead if you don't know how to apply it. So what I love is I'm bringing in people to say, here's how I apply this to my clients. Or it doesn't even have to be a coach. It could just be somebody who's a fitness enthusiast who themselves want to apply this to their own exercise and nutrition. I'll just say real quick, some of the earlier issues that we're covering is processed foods and body fat gain, training volume. How should you increase training volume to optimize muscle mass? We're looking at detraining. If you take some time off from the gym, from resistance training, how much muscle mass do you lose, or do you lose any muscle mass over a few weeks? Another one is time restricted feeding and body composition. Another earlier one is ketogenic diets in bodybuilders. So hopefully you can appreciate this is very tailored for coaches and people interested in maximizing muscle mass and trying to live a lifestyle with lower body fat levels.
Absolutely. I mean, being somebody that's learned so much from you and just everything that you have going on at USF, like I'm actually very interested in it. So if you're a coach out there, you're listening to this and you want to stay up to date with a lot of the research that's coming out, I'd highly advise you check out Bill's research review.